Hello and welcome to the simple tutorial on APA. This is one of a two-part video on APA, and the objective of this is simply to help you format an APA paper without using a template. There are times that you might want to use a template for this, and those templates are very hard to modify sometimes or to make corrections to them if they're incorrect. So really the best way is to know how to do it yourself. So we're going to take a couple simple steps to get you set up. This is the cover page. It's page 1 of your document in APA. APA is relatively simple. I think that many people try to make it difficult, but you'll see that as long as you follow the steps, it's really not a problem to set up your paper. Now, I want to give you just a little bit of information here before we get started, is that APA sometimes instructors, especially like if you're in college and some high school classes, may require different components on your cover page. I'm simply going to give you the basics of that, what might go on it, and you will just have to make sure with your instructor that you are putting the correct information on your cover page before you get started on any research paper. So let's have a look here. If you can see this, there's a cursor right here, and it's inside the text of your document that you're going to type. And where we want to be is the header, and Word makes it really easy to get there. So if you put your cursor, your mouse above that and double click, hit it twice, your left mouse key, you're going to see this header and footer tool pop up. This is really important to get started, because if you don't click different first page and put a check in that checkbox, you will not be able to format your headers in APA correctly. So please make sure that is the very first step you do. The header from the top 0.5 and the footer from the bottom, this is correct. If it wasn't, then you would go in and simply change it. You just use the up and down arrow keys to make sure that you've got the right measurements. So there we have our first page. We're telling the computer that our first page is going to be different from our second and third. So basically the first page is the only one that's different here, and every other subsequent page will be the same once you type your information in on page 2. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do, if you notice, most of the time this is set on the home page, and that's perfectly normal, and this will stay up until we get out of the header, this header footer tool. So let's go over, we're going to insert our page number, because in APA there's always a page number, and it's on every page including your cover. So you're going to go Insert tab, go over to page number. It may be in a slightly different location depending on what version of Word you have, but you should be able to see it. And then you're going to go to top of page, because the page number in APA is always at the top of the page. So you're going to see plain number 3. It puts you right there on the right margin, and go ahead and click that and you can see page 1 show up. Now, this is where it gets interesting, is that you have to type the words running head. Now, it's very specifically typed. So in your header, you're going to put running space, lowercase h. Sometimes people capitalize that and it's incorrect. And then you're going to make a space and then hit the caps lock, or you can do it the hard way and type in all of your letters in caps. But your caps lock is located on the left part of your keyboard, and if you hit that, your title is going to go quite a bit better. So on this, just a note of advice is that the running heads in APA can have abbreviated titles. So if the title of your paper was extremely long, you'll see some of those very long ones in peer-reviewed journal articles and items such as that. If it's very long, to make sure that it looks appealing in the header, you're going to want to abbreviate that. So here we're just going to put APA paper exercise, because that's what we're doing. Of course, yours will be totally different. And just hit the tab key, which is located on the left side of your keyboard. Hit it once, hit it twice. Now, if your title here, the APA paper exercise, had actually been longer and maybe over here, you would have only had to hit tab once. This is the easy way of doing it. Now we've got another problem. So here in the header, we have this, which is in Calibri 11. Now, I'm not going to do it. I'm I'm not going to hover over this and do it with the little box that popped up. I'm going to show you where it's at on your tabs up here. So let's go to the home page. And if you look, it already says it's Calibri Body 11. This is the default in most Word documents. And so you want to change that to the correct font. And most instructors, if not all, are going to require Times New Roman. Now, I use Times New Roman a lot. So this is showing up on recently used fonts. But for the sake of knowing how to do this, if it is not one that you commonly use, you can either type Times New Roman, so you see Times, see it's popping up there. You can see it and you can hit enter after that if you want to, or you can go down the list and they're all in alphabetical order and you're going to find Times New Roman. And then this is always 12. So Times New Roman 12 font is where you want to be in your header. Now to get back down here below your header and back into your text, you're going to double click. So there you go. Now we've entered our first header for this video and we're getting ready to set up this cover page. So the cover page is really where you are going to provide your information about your name, what you're writing, possibly the date, which I require on papers that I ask people to write. And also it could be your class name or your professor's name. So you kind of get the idea here that it can vary according to the purpose of your paper and your instructor's instructions. So let's have a look up here. If you notice something, what happened when I got out of the header knew, Word knew that I had changed that to Times New Roman 12, but now it's saying, but you didn't change it in the body. So, and this is the body of your text. So we're going to go up here and do the exact same thing. And this time I'm going to just type it in so you can see that the way that that works. Because last time I chose it from the alphabetical list. So let's go Times New Roman, enter. You see how that worked? It just automatically entered it when it popped up. And then 11. We're going to change to 12 because if you remember, I told you that you have to have Times New Roman 12 font. The next thing we're going to do is going to be for the rest of your paper, and there's an up and down arrow key here. This is line spacing, and I want you to pull it down and have a look. So this is single spacing, and there's different ones that you can choose, but for APA as well as MLA, if you're using MLA, it's 2.0. So we're going to choose 2.0. Now, a point of caution here as well. Automatically, Word puts in extra spacing. So let's have a look at this. We're going to go down, and if you look, if either one of these says remove, you need to remove because that means there's just slightly a little bit of space added in that Word automatically does. I have no idea why, but it needs to be removed for true 2.0 spacing. So let's go ahead and remove space, and that sets your entire document to the correct spacing, and you already have your header. Now, when you're writing your title page, you're going to move to about a third way down the page. So we're already on double space. So we're going to go 1, enter 2, enter 3, and enter 4. And that'll get you about at the right place. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, of course, is to put our information on here. All of the information on your title page is centered. And here's where we would have to determine a title. So I'm going to show you how the title of the paper is if you had a longer title. So I want to illustrate that so you can kind of see how that works. So as we're typing this, we're going to go ahead and use the APA. So we've got our APA paper exercise, and I'm going to lengthen this title and we're just going to put learning to create the title page. So you can see that that is a pretty long title. It probably wouldn't look all that great up here and might even, if it were slightly longer, run into your number. So we've got our title, and when you hit enter, you only hit it once. It leaves the true 2.0 space here so that you are double spaced, and because we took that extra space out, now you have perfect 2.0 spacing. So the next item that your instructor might want you to put on here is the class name or your name. So we're going to go with the class name, and we're just going to make up a number. So we've got English 1 section if that's required 2. And then of course your name is always a good idea, and here we're just going to put Jackie Jones. And then your last line usually is the school. They might ask for the date, and we're just going to put University of somewhere. So you can type in your information there. You would change your title. You would put in whatever the instructor is requiring, which is usually something along the lines of what you see here. It can just depend. So let's go back up here and let me show you when you go into this after you've created your paper. If you want to reuse it and you need to change something in the header, it's very easy to do. You would just highlight your title and go ahead and change that, and then of course change these. So you can reuse papers once you've done it by deleting the information that you had and reusing that information. So we've got our cover page. I just want to before I end this first video, I just want to tell you that many instructors may require things such as an abstract, which is one of the possible requirements for APA. Always ask your instructor, because many instructors do not require that. And if you haven't looked into abstracts, you should know that they are basically a summary of your paper. I sincerely hope that you found this video helpful. Part 2 will show what the first page where you begin your text will look like, and the third video will show how to set up your references page and give you an example and those resources that I spoke to you about earlier in the video. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos that may be able to help you in your writing pursuits. Thank you so much for listening.